Hi everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name's Nicole and this is Darvanalee Design Studio, and today we are here for DD's Floss Tube episode 107. So let's get into it. Good evening everybody and welcome back to the channel. Thank you for taking some time out of your day and spending it with me while I prattle on about all things cross stitch. Alright, so it has been a hot minute since I have posted a floss tube. I haven't done a whip parade, I haven't done anything. I have just taken some time to regroup. If you have been following me for a while, welcome back. Sorry I've been MIA, and if you're new here, well that's great. Welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to subscribe while you're here. Alright, so as I said, I have been MIA for a while. I had Mia here before Christmas and just after Christmas, and so I just took time to spend with her. I did a couple down in the park and whatnot, and then I got a little bit sick after she went back home. I got actually quite sick, and so I missed out on my last, I think it was 3 or 4 days of Vlogmas prior to Christmas. It was not pretty. You did not want me on camera. So I just decided to take some time off, and it's obviously my body's way of telling me to slow down. So I have slowed down and now I am back, and this is the first video for 2023. So as for a whip parade, I'm not going to do a whip parade, but I am doing a mini whip parade today. So I have a challenge happening over in my Facebook group and it's called Stitching Bingo. And basically we have 4 rounds a year. Each round goes for 12 rounds, and I put up a little picture which we'll get into in a little bit. I just need to explain a little bit so you know what I'm working on this year. So yeah, so I put up some prompts and everything, and I put it up prior to the rolls so you can get yourself organized, which I've done today, and that's what our mini whip parade is going to be. So I haven't done much stitching because taking time off means taking time off from crafting. So I haven't done any crafting except for my sewing tutorials, which has been once a week, and they've been going up on a Wednesday. So basically that's all I've really been doing. And I've also been doing a crafting with DD's, which is actually working on my quilting stuff, and anything that I've got, any sort of whip that I've got going on here or something that I want to start. So crafting with DD's happens on a Thursday, and that's a live stream, so you can come in and join in the conversation and yeah, have a bit of a chat with us, have a bit of fun in the comments. We usually have some giveaways, we sometimes go off on tangents, and yeah, but I have been working on my my quilt that I get, it was the 2021 I think designer mystery. No, this one was a block of the month that I'm working on. It's called Among the Stars. So yeah, I've got designer mysteries. That's just what made me think it was. I've got I think I've got the 2018 designer mystery on the go as well, but I haven't been working with that on camera. We are here today to talk all things cross stitch and a little bit about what's going on and what's coming forward for my floss tube, and how I'm going to work it this year, just to mix it up a little bit. Last year I had the bingo prompts over in the group, but I didn't really participate. This year I am 100% participating in it. I mean, I've organised them, I may as well participate in them. So at this point in time I'm not really doing any other challenges except for the bingo one. I just want to ease into it this year. Maybe during the middle of the year I might jump back into some other ones and whatnot. So yeah, I'm just going to move this light because it is bright. It's great, but it's bright. And yeah, I've had a bit of a woke up with a bit of a headache this morning. All right, no, that's not gonna. All right, we'll just have to live with it. There it is, and that's what it is. All right, let me just move it out of the way. I've got stuff everywhere. If only you could see what was going on in my studio. That is a bit better. I don't feel like I'm blinded as much because it was right there and it was just making my eyes squint. All right, so now that we've got the light sorted out, we are here to talk about cross stitch, and yeah, so let's get into what I've actually worked on. Okay, I've started back with my Stitch With Me this week, and if you haven't seen that, I'll leave a link down below where you can go and watch that. And I am continuing on this year working on my Snow Village. I'm doing my Snow Village as one piece. I was hoping that I was going to get it completely finished by the end of last year. That was wishful thinking on my part, don't you think? Because we all know how busy I am. So this is not a very good picture, but that is what it's going to look like. So I'm doing mine as one piece, such like that. And I have been, as I said, working on it on my Stitch With Me. So I haven't done any up until this week. So I'm back to full on filming this week. And it's good to be back actually, because I at the end of last year, I was feeling like I was a little bit burnt out and I just didn't want to do it anymore. I didn't want to do floss tube anymore, and I wanted to just stop filming altogether. And when I spoke to my husband, he goes, just take a break. He goes, it doesn't matter. He goes, even if you just do your because this is my, like, floss tube, not floss tube, but YouTube is part of my business. Like, it's part of my job. It also gets me teaching jobs away. It helps with sewing retreats and all that sort of stuff, and I have to keep my skills up, because if I stop doing it, then my skills are going to get a little bit lax. So he said, why don't just do what you can do? Why don't you work on something of your own and, you know, enjoy it for a little while, because it became like a little bit of a chore, so to speak. But that always happens around that time of year, because like December is a busy month on YouTube for me, because we have floss tube or flog medicine, and I also have the book channel now as well. So I ended up doing a remember the books that I got last year that I did in the advents? I actually did them over on my book channel this year. So I had all those as well. And we also had shorts going up every day. I don't think I'll be doing that again next year. If I do it, it will be in just purely on Facebook, I think. And I won't worry about doing it on YouTube, or I'll do it right at the beginning of each video, because I do want to do Vlogmas again. So yeah, so anyway, I didn't get a lot of stitching in because I had Mia here for that time that I was really going to knuckle down and work on both my Christmas pieces, which was Halloween. No, it's not Halloween. It's Holiday Quaker. It's yeah, by Leela Studios. I wanted to get stitches in that. I got none, except for that first day, and I done the Santa hat, and that was it. So I just called it and yeah, put everything down. So anyway, I am working on Snow Village still. We are back to stitching on that each week, and I'm so out of practice. I don't have anything out, so I'm sorry about the rustling and all the rest of it. Let me just get my, because I've actually finished the next one except for the back stitching, which I'll get to. So the one that I worked on this week is the skate and sled shot. Okay, so I got some more stitches into that. As I said, I have now finished that, except for the back stitching. So I've got the back stitching done on here because I had a little bit left to do that, and that's just under the skates. So yeah, so I've just got to do the back stitching in there to name the shop. And my needle minder is from Gail at Wombat Hollow Crafts, and the fabric is 16 count Lagoon, hand dyed by DD Stitchery, which that is me. So yeah, I'm working on some of my own pieces, which is, you know, anybody that knows me knows that that's pretty amazing, because I don't normally stitch on coloured stuff. I'm very much a neutral girl, but I did think that that needed to be on blue, and I originally got the kit from Fat Quarter Shop, and it came as a complete kit. So I got all the floss, I got the fabrics, which was a witch help fabric, and I think it was called French Rain, and it was 16 count Ada. I thought I got 32 count because I just didn't like working on it. It was just, I don't know, I didn't like the blue wasn't great. So I ended up dyeing up some fabrics for sale and for retreats that I was going to and whatnot, and that Lagoon came out, and I just really liked it because it's just got a little hint of grey in it. Like, you don't actually tell, you can't really tell from here, but it's got just like a little hint of grey through it, so it just tones it down a little bit. But yeah, that's pretty much the colour there, I think. That's looking pretty good though. I'm really happy with how this is turning out. This is actually going to get turned into a cushion. So I don't need a lot of border on the outside or anything like that. I just need enough to square it up. So that's going to eventually be a cushion. And I got the idea from Gail, because from Wombat Hollow Crafts, because she has Glitter Village. I have Glitter Village as well. We actually have a lot of the same charts, and she's also got Farmhouse Christmas as well, and that they are all done up in pillows, I believe. So I seen the glitter. She done a flashback a throwback from whenever she done it, and she showed it on the channel, and I went, you know what, that's exactly how I want to do it. So I scrapped doing them as individual pieces and decided to do that. And I've also done the same with Farmhouse Christmas, and Farmhouse Christmas will most likely replace this one. I'm still in two minds yet whether it is actually going to replace this one or not. So yeah, so I am now ready to move on to the next chart, which is somewhere. Oh, there it is. So this is the next part of it, and so we'll be starting that on Monday. So I'm pretty excited about that. It's, you know, like, it's been a long time coming getting this done, and I'm just so glad that I have made it a priority. So you will get to see that every week, because I am also working on it during the week, not just on my Stitch With Me. Obviously, if I'm busy, it'll only be on my Stitch With Me, and then that's it. All right, so the next thing I'm going to talk about is the bingo. So our bingo started on the 15th of January, okay, and you can get your free sheet over in our Facebook group, and I'll also link it up down below this video as well. So if you want to join in the fun, you can join in the fun. You don't necessarily have to be in our Facebook group, but it'd be nice if you were, because you can share. But if you're on Instagram and you're not in Facebook, just tag me. I will leave what the tag is down below, and that way I can see what you're working on as well, and I might be able, you never know, you might influence me a little bit, and I might end up buying the chart and stitching along with you. Probably not this year, maybe next year, who knows. But anyway, so we've got 12 prompts. This is all done out for you, and we had our first roll on the 15th, and they are a YouTube short on the channel. So that YouTube short actually has stitching and a sewing challenge in it, and it goes up every Sunday at 7 AM. So if you want to join in the fun, you can find out what the prompt is. You don't necessarily need this, but if you want to be organized, I give this prior to the next round. So this came out at the beginning of January, and that gives everybody a chance to find their whips that they want to work on, and it gives you a little bit of planning, and you can just have a crate there with those in it. When it rolls up, you can just grab it out. So that is what my mini whip parade is going to be. So you'll get to see what I'm going to be working on for the next 12 weeks. And the first one that rolled up was the number 10, and it was stitch for an hour a day on your largest whip. Now I've got a couple of HAEDs. Actually, I've got more than several HAEDs on the go. Not a lot of them have a lot into them. So I ended up, I had the toss up between Christmas 2, which I knew were my largest whip. I had Christmas 2, Magic Study, and Autumn Queen. Now, all of you probably would have thought that Autumn Queen would have won out, but actually, Magic Study is actually 4,000 stitches larger than Autumn Queen. Now, I could have went two ways. I ended up going on the stitch count, not on the amount of floss, because Autumn Queen actually has 237 colors in it, because I got a max colors, whereas Magic Study only has 90 in it. So there was no comparison on any other of my HAEDs to that one. So technically I could have went with that one, because it is a large whip and it has the largest amount of colors, but I decided to go on the stitch count, and so, as I said, Magic Study beat it out. Now, I got this as a limited edition. I did see something a little while ago, maybe a few months ago, that maybe this was available now. It is by Rose Khan, and it's from 2020. It's Heaven and Earth. And that is what it's called. It's a limited edition. It's Magic Study, and that's what it's going to look like. And I am up in this corner here. A long way to go. I'm not in any rush to do my HAEDs. My HAEDs are there for when I want to work on them. If I ever get them finished in my life, I don't know. I just enjoy looking at the artwork. I enjoy working with the colors and all the rest of it. Like, there's some gorgeous colors. Like, there's a lot of blues and aquas and purples, as you've seen. So these are my spare ones. I've already got it, you know, double ups and whatnot. So I've already got it kitted up. And now I'm going to insert a picture in of where I started at. That's sort of why I'm sitting off to the side a little bit, so I can insert some pictures of where I started at and what I ended up getting done. Now, I stitch on this for an hour a day. I had a little bit of confetti to do and a little bit of filling, and I've now stitched down to the bottom of the page, and this bit that I'm working on actually goes over to the almost to the edge, connecting onto page 2. So yeah, so I've gone down to the bottom of the first page and I'm working my way across. Originally I started doing this on the diagonal, as you can see from the picture. I do not like diagonal stitching. I found I was making more mistakes than not. Where I was making the mistakes, it's not so bad because it's you know, it is very speckled, and it's a combination of deep blues and whatnot. There is one section that I think I've made a mistake, so I've got to double check it. I've pulled all the parking out that I had. As you can see on that picture, I had a lot of parking stuff in, so I've pulled all that out. I'm basically now the way I'm stitching my HAEDs, and I'm really enjoying it, and I've got a lot more progress done, which you've seen last year on my Red Dragon that I'm doing for Savannah, because Savannah doesn't live at home anymore. She's moved out to go to uni, so I can talk about it freely now because Neroli already knows about it. But anyway, when that comes up, I will talk a little bit more about what the plans are for that. So as you can see from that picture, I had it diagonal, I had parking, it wasn't gelling with my brain. So now I have found, with working on Red Dragon, I found it really easy just to go box by box, row by row, and when I get to a point where I can't do any more, or it's too much of a jump for the thread, I just bring it over to the next row, 5 or 10 stitches depending, and I just bring it over and do a waist finished. So basically what's happening on that, all at the back of it, like it looks like a dog's breakfast where I've started, but on the back of it, it is getting a little bit neater. This one has a bit of a dog's breakfast happening, but I'll show you down the bottom of what I've done and how it is a lot. Like, don't look at that, that's just terrible, because I'm jumping around and all the rest of it, and I don't like it. So I've now managed to get that looking a lot better, and you can see I've got threads going over, and so I do waist knots as well. So we'll bring it around to the front, so you can see I've got waist knots there as well, and I just trim them off once I start covering. So you can see the thread behind there where that waist knot is, that's going to end up getting covered by stitches that I'm doing, and then I can just snip that off, and there's no it's so smooth on the back, and it's all neat and tidy, and I'm really liking how it's going on the back. So, but that's what I ended up getting done. So you could see from that previous picture to there, and I believe I only had about 190 stitches, 198 stitches in, maybe 298, and now I'm up to 5% in stitch. I'm not even counting stitches, but I believe that's over 2,000 stitches that I got in that time. So, and in some cases I did go over the hour, so I tried to stitch an hour a day on this, but I had a lot of fixing up to do and whatnot. So I'm really happy with that week. That's a week's progress, because that was worked on that for a week. Every day. I missed one day and then caught up the next day, but I worked on this every single day. I just had it set up in the lounge room, and then when I sat down, I just set my alarm, and then excuse me, and then basically I would just stitch until the alarm went off. But yeah, so this is on 28 count easy grid by Zweigart, and I am doing 2 over 1 10 stitch. Now I know a lot of people are going to go, oh my god, that's really bulky and thick, and it's not. I'm using DMC. I'm really loving the coverage. I don't have any issues with white showing through, which is my pet peeve for working on HAEDs. Like, I don't like to see the fabric on any project. So this is working really well for me, and I'm doing 10 stitch, so I'm not having to come across back to do the next leg. If I was doing the next leg, of course that would probably be a little bit thick, but definitely 10 stitch. And I did a close-up on Zoom on this because there was a few people in there asking about 10 stitch and whatnot. And I did a close-up with the camera, like I came really close to it, and you know, it looks like I've done the full cross, and a few other people totally agreed with that. So yeah, I am really enjoying doing it, and I'll try and get a little close. You can probably see it pretty closely on the light blue on that leg coming down. I'm liking the look of it. I really love the fact that I don't have to worry about the coverage there. Like, it's just covering the fabric really nicely. So that is, oh, we're going to get it to focus again. There we go. I'm a little bit dark by the looks of it, but anyway, okay, so that's what I worked on there. I really enjoyed spending that time with it, and I'm so glad that I've got some more stitches in it. I'm super excited because I can actually start to see some progress now where I'm at. Before, it just looked like speckles of purple and blue and everything on there, and it had nothing, but now I can see some of the features coming into it, so I'm super excited about that. So now that is getting put aside because, as I said, we are going to be working on the bingo. So the next roll, because we've had 2 rolls, which is the which you will see my progress next week. Okay, the next roll was to work on something with flowers in it. So I have picked out, so this is where we're going to get into the mini whip parade. So I picked out Cinnamon Stars by Plum Street Samplers. They're one of my favorite designers, along with the blue flower. I've got many favorite designers, but yeah, these ones I tend to stitch a lot of. So I have been stitching this for some time, and I've learnt a lot about myself with my cross stitching. I love starting things, and I put off finishing things because I have several charts that are almost near completion, and I avoid them because they're near completion because I like stitching on them so much. So I'm trying to rectify that a little bit with my stitching. So this is in the hoop, so you're not going to really see much of it, but I had to stitch on a chart that had flowers in it. Now, I don't have to stitch on flowers, it just had to have flowers in it, and that's why it's got some flowers. So this is the edge of it, so I've just got the other side of the house, and then I've got the so I'll just bring this up. So I've got the other side of the house to do, I've got the stars out of the chimney to do, and I've got the fence done and the body of the scarecrow done, and so I've just got to do that. So this is pretty close to a finish, but the thing is, I've been putting it off because I like it so much and I don't want to finish it, but I'm going to endeavor to get a lot more finished this year. Now, this prompt is to stitch for 30 minutes a day on this, and so that's the minimum that I have to do. But obviously, you know, I'm not pulling out all of my whips and working on many different whips and only getting a small amount of progress. I'm just going to be working on this whip for this week along with my Snow Village. If I find that I get a little bit bored, then I might bring in another one with flowers in it, but my main focus is going to be this one for this coming week. So you will get to see this next Friday. And now I'm going to talk about and go on to the mini whip parade. So as you can see, that's my little working copy that I have in my basket, but this is what your sheet will look like. Okay, it's big enough for you to write on the back or right underneath it and cross off as you need to go. Okay, so I'm going to just go in numerical order and pull out what I'm going to be working on over the next 12 weeks. So number 1 is stitch for 30 minutes a day on something with orange in it. Now I need my little working copy because I've got them written down on there. So I picked Wicked by Barbara Anna Designs, and this has, where is it? That's what it looks like. So that is Wicked. Okay, and I stitched on this in October, I think, for DD Spooktober. This is the orange that is in it, and this is what I've got done so far. So this is a lot bigger than what I thought it was, and this is on 32 count linen, and yeah, so that I've just got all this up here to do, but that back end of the key is huge. Like, it's absolutely huge. And then I've got this down here. So I'm hoping that 30 minutes a day is going to get some good progress on that. Obviously, if I get bored with it, which is highly unlikely, because when I was stitching on it in October, I actually really was enjoying it. And I wanted to work on a lot of whips because it's DD Spooktober then, and so it was, you know, I sort of rushed it and didn't enjoy it as much. And that's where this bingo challenge is really going to help me to hyper focus on on my charts and whatnot. All right, so the next one is Stitch from an Hour a Day from Your Favorite Designer. This one was hard. I didn't know whether to just keep using Cinnamon Stars or whether to do something else. So I decided that I was going to go with something else. And then I had the problem of, oh my God, which one do I do? Do I do Night Walk Down or do I do Huckleberry Farm? So I did a coin toss and we come up with a Huckleberry Farm. So let me just grab it out. It's not the best picture because it's in black and white, but it's by the Blue Flower. I love her work. I've got a lot of her charts. And I'm going to get to them, but I just want to make a big dent in my whips this year. So I worked on this back in September for Sampler September. It was only going to come out for that, but I do love this and I so want to work on it. So this one here, oh, I can't remember what this fabric is. Oh, do I have it? No, I don't. I can't remember what the fabric is. I think it's called Silver Ash. I got it from, oh, here we go. Yes, it's called Silver Ash. It's on the side. And it is 32 counts. And I got this from Sew It All Australia. And that is where I'm going to be starting at it this year. So I've got a fair chunk of it done. And I'm hoping that spending an hour a day on it for 7 days, I will get a lot more in. So I am just about, I've just finished that little section there, so I'm just going to be keep working the words, but I'm about to start the house, so I'll probably keep working the words and see where I'm at. I'm not 100% sure whether I am onto the next page or not, or whether I can finish page 1, because I'm just working 1 page at a time. I've since learnt that not to scurry off onto other pages, because that's when mistakes happen. So just looking at the chart right now, I've got the Q in the actual pattern. I have the Q and the R that is still left on page 1, and I've got a little bit of the plant to do down the side, so the stem that goes along the border. Okay, so that is, so I've just got to bring that down to here, and then that'll be the bottom of page 1. And then I've just got the Q and the R to start. The R only starts, it's like the back of the R. And then page 1 will be completely finished. I did move over onto page 2 because I didn't want to just have all my threads hanging there. So I have also already moved over onto page 2, but I felt that this was pretty safe because it was a zigzag border and a lettering. So I felt that I was pretty safe doing that. So over here, it's got a little saying, I think it's 1 for the basket, 1 for me and 1 for the basket, or 1 for the basket and 1 for me. So yeah, 1 for the basket, 1 for me and 1 for the basket it is. So I'll get that saying done, and yeah, so hopefully that will get sorted. I don't know what's going on with the camera today. It just keeps getting really dark. There we go. It's just gonna have to stay like that. All right, so I don't know why. So that is a Stitch on Your Favorite Designer. The next one is a stitch for 2 hours or 200 stitches on a whip that is closest to a finish. So you can do this on a daily basis, or you can do it for 1 week. It's entirely up to you. Okay, so I don't believe I've got a cover picture for this, but you can pretty much see what it looks like anyway. This was out of a magazine from a few years back, and it is the Steampunk Dalmatian. So I've just got to finish in here for his hat and then just back stitching. So I thought that would be a good one to get sorted and off my whip pile. The next one is to stitch on something new. And so I get to satisfy my new start thing and that, because I've got a couple in here that are close to a finish. So this one was given to me by Gail from Wombat Hollow Crafts. She gave this to me as a gift to stitch up and put in my library, because I love reading. So I am going to start this. I still don't know what fabric I'm going to put it on, but I'm thinking that I might end up putting it on a pale grey. I've got a really nice grey there, and I think that that will look really nice because those colours are quite vibrant. So I'm looking forward to starting that, and they are all DMC colours. And it is 192 by 99 high. and the designer is Tempting Tangle Designs on that. So yeah, and their website is temptingtangledesigns.com. So yeah, I'm looking forward to starting that. It's I think it's going to be a pretty quick stitch because it's just mostly alphabet all over the place. Those books are pretty heavy, but yeah, it's so cute. I love it. So I'm going to start that for prompt 4. Okay, and I've got to stitch an hour a day on that, so I should get a fair chunk of change done on that. The next one is to stitch for 3 hours or 300 stitches on a whip that has black in it. And I am going to stitch on my Pandemic. I got some more stitches in this towards the end of the year. So that is what Pandemic looks like. And I am using Silks for You, and that's what this looks like. It has black in it. So it's got, yeah, burgundies through to black. And it's a soft black, like it's a charcoal black. It's not like, yeah, anyway, it's black. There's a little bit of black in there. So I have been getting I got a fair bit of done on that. I've got this is huge. It is on a huge frame because it's the only frame I had, and it fitted it fit all the fabric that I had in it, but it doesn't I don't think it really needs to be that big. I think I overestimated my fabric that I needed. Better to overestimate than underestimate, right? Okay, so this is where I'm at on that. So last time you seen it, I was just starting to come up here, so I finished all the way up here. I've got this in, I finished, there was a little bit down here that I needed to finish, and now I'm just, yeah, I believe that I'm almost finished page 1. This is over in page 2. I think I've got a little bit more on page 1 just here. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it's gonna look absolutely stunning once it's done. So this one here, I have to stitch on it for 3 hours, and this is for the week. I don't have to do that daily. This is just for the week. So I need a total of 300 stitches or a total of 3 hours. I will probably work on a little bit each day and get my total of 3 hours up, and maybe even a bit more, because sometimes I find I start stitching and then I just get into the zone, and because it's the only one I'm going to be working on for that week apart from Snow Village, I'm going to get a lot of stuff done in that. All right, the next one is stitch on something from your favorite magazine. Now, I love all magazines. I don't have one particular favorite over another. Of course, Down the Rabbit Hole magazine is my all-time favorite, but that's me being a little bit biased. So I decided to take a deep dive into my whips and find something that was in a magazine that I had already started. Now, it is called, I believe it's called Shaken Not Stirred. I call it Pina Colada. Because it is actually a recipe one. So that's what it's going to look like. And I haven't worked on this for a while, so I'm looking forward to getting some stitches in. And this is where I'm going to be starting at. So this one is, it says just to stitch on a whip from your favorite magazine. There is no hour or stitch requirement or anything like that. So that is going to get some love, which I'm super excited about, because we're almost up to, well, I've got the glass finish, and now I'm up to doing all the lettering and whatnot, which I always like doing. I don't know, there's just something zen about lettering, isn't there? Like, you just get into that zone and you just start stitching. All right, so the next one is number 7. That is to work for an hour a day on a whip that has yellow in it. So I picked Village of Hawk Run Hollow, and I was inspired by the lovely Gail for this one, because she is working on, she's doing hyperfocus stitching this year, and she is working on charts until they're finished. So I think she spins them up, draws them out, spins them up. Just I've watched so many people. So yeah, so I'm going to work on a Village of Hawk Run, and I have not done a lot on this at all. So an hour a day with yellow in it is going to, you don't have to stitch on the yellow, it's just an hour a day. Now, I thought I had done my back stitching and whatnot, and I hadn't. It was on another chart that I had done my back stitching. But yeah, so I've got block 1 done, and I started on block 2. And block 2, there's some really dodgy stitches in the St. Peter's Church, because little Em helped me do this ages ago. She put in some crosses down there. So that's always going to be a nice memory to work on that. So I'm stitching that on 28 count rustic from Sew It All Australia, and I'm using CXC threads, the called for numbers, because they are compatible with DMC. So I'm looking forward to getting some stitching done on that one as well. So number 8 is stitch for 1.5 hours or 150 stitches on your most recent start. And my most recent start is, I actually had 2, but I decided to go with this one. It is by Teresa Kogan, and I got this book from Market. So it was released at Market, and I got this from Carolyn from Stitch in Time. And yeah, so I started this on New Year's, and I got, I think I've got a couple of hundred stitches in. I am stitching this on 32 count sandstone is the color. It is an even weave. And let me just get this back in, because I'm trying to protect the book. This book is like, this was a really reasonably priced too, this book. Can't remember the exact price, but you'll be able to find it on Carolyn's website, I'm sure. If not, give her a call and see if she can't get it in for you. But it has 11 different charts in it, and some of them are just absolutely divine. But that is the one I wanted to start off first. And as I said, it's stitched on sandstone, 32 count, it's in its hoop, and that's what I got done when I started. So I'll get some more into that, and that again is I'm going to be putting 150 stitches in that, or an hour and a half of time. I will probably put a little bit more in, because as I said, I'm not working on anything else, so it makes it super easy. All right, so the one that we've already, number 9, that was Cinnamon Stars, because we have already rolled that. The next one, number 10, you've already seen, that was Magic Study, because we've already rolled that as well. And number 11 is Stitch for 3 hours or 300 stitches on a whip with a house in it. Now, I am going to do a coin toss for this, and I'm going to do it either between, actually, I might do a spin, because I've got 3 charts that are in here with a house in it. So I will do a wheel spin with Village of Hawk Run Hollow, Cinnamon Stars, and also Huckleberry Farm. Now, let's hope that Cinnamon Star spins up, because that might mean that I'll get it finished in this round. I could just make the decision, but, you know, let's leave it up to chance, shall we, and see what I'm going to work on. All right, and number 12 is stitch on a whip of your choice, and I chose to stitch on Lady Halloween, which I don't have a cover picture for, but this is what it looks like, and this is what I have done so far. It is on Tangerine. It's hand dyed by me. Tangerine Bliss, and that's what I've done. I worked on this in October, and I haven't touched it since, so I'm looking forward to getting some more stitches into that. All right, so they are all the bingo prompts, and having the sheet prior to the roll starting makes it so much easier to get all your whips out, and I'm organized. And now I don't know when I'm going to stitch on them, because it's the luck of the draw. Basically, as I said, I roll the dice, and on Sunday at 7 a.m. on our short shelf, it goes up and you get the prompt there. So hopefully some of you will join in. Make sure that you do. I will put the hashtag and also the link to get your print off as well. And if you want it to print off small, so you've got room to write what you want, just print it off landscape, and it'll print off that small for you. But I'm super excited to see how far I'm going to get. So I have to remember to take before pictures, but I do have them here, so that's why I wanted to do a little mini whip parade. But that is it for me today as far as cross stitching goes and all the rest of it. I do have a couple of announcements and whatnot. We actually have set up a 24/7 Zoom room over in our Facebook group. You've got all the information there. If you're not on Facebook at this point in time, it's just for the Facebook group people, but there are some things coming up that will be for other people that you might be able to join in the fun and whatnot. But yeah, at the moment it's just for Facebook group members because I can vet people a little bit better that way. I do know that there's some people that do not do Facebook at all, and they are on Instagram. As I said, at this point, I just, until I get a handle on everything and the people that are going in and out of the Zoom room, and I just want to vet people a little bit more so anyway, I'm not opening it up at this point. I know that I'm going to get some that I just until I get a handle on everything, and then once I've got a handle on how it all works and all that sort of stuff, then we will tackle other people from other platforms. Okay, so just bear with me on that. So basically FlossTube is going to continue on Friday, and that's what I'm going to be working on. And I also have my Stitch With Me's on Monday, so hopefully you can join me in for that. I don't have much more going on in the way of cross stitch or anything. I am in the process of organising a retreat. I'm just waiting for the lady to get back from holiday. She's taken some extended leave, the person that I need to talk to. I will have more details about that in incoming episodes. And the magazine is due to come out on the 15th of February as well. So if you haven't checked that out, check out the links down below for Down the Rabbit Hole magazine, and go over and check out our magazines. We are now into our 3rd volume. So we have now gone, I think the next one that's coming out is issue 10, and we've got some extra issues coming out this year. I don't know how big they're going to be, but there will definitely be some awesome charts in there from different designers and whatnot. We have our first special, we've got 4 special editions coming out this year. We have a Biscogne and Small special edition coming out in April. And is it April? I don't know. I will put the links down below, and you can find all the information on our website for that. And then we also have a sampler primitive one coming out. We also have a Halloween coming out, and we have our Christmas one coming out. So this year we will actually have 8 issues of Down the Rabbit Hole magazine coming out. We'll have our 4 seasonal ones and our 4 special editions. I think I'm going to hold it at that, and so you'll get 8 issues throughout the year. If you've not checked it out, check out the links down underneath this video. Head over to the website. You can see it all over there. We do have some bundle packs in underneath the tab bundle packs, so you can get all of 2022 seasonal ones, and you can get all of 2021 seasonal ones as well. And yeah, go check them out, and let me know what you think in the comments down below. But that is it for me today. Have a wonderful day, everybody. My voice is about to give it out on me. I hope that you get lots of stitching in. I'm excited for 2023 and all my bingo rolls, and hopefully some of you will come along and join in the fun. Don't forget to use the hashtag if you're on Instagram down below. It is there right alongside your prompt sheet, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye for now.